and how to become a dominant listing agent in your area. So I'm really passionate about this topic because I'm 100% convinced that even though there's a listing inventory crisis, you do not have to accept it. You don't have to accept the fact that you have to get burnt out working with just buyers. Now, I know there's a lot of people that like working with buyers. That's totally cool. But if you're feeling burnt out with buyers, and you want to become a listing agent, then you want to stay tuned in with me, because I'm going to do a series here on how to become a dominant listing agent. Now, if you've never tuned in or watched my videos before or seen me go live or been to my webinars, my background is really what I specialize is helping agents make the transition of working with buyers to become more on the listing side. And then if you're already on the listing side of the business, become the dominant listing agent in your market. That's what I do. I love what I do. And I've had a lot of success with it. I've been fortunate to work with some amazing, amazing top producers. Many of them have hit the Wall Street Journal's top 250 list. And I can't say that it's all because of me, but I've had a part of positioning them as the dominant listing agent in their market. And it's not, what I'm about to share with you is not easy. Because the reality is that if it was easy, everyone would freaking do it, right? So becoming a listing agent, if you haven't done it before, is not necessarily easy. And becoming the dominant listing agent in your market is definitely not easy. But there are simple strategies that I'm going to go over with you that you can do to work towards that, okay? And the key word is momentum. So I'll give an example. One of the clients that I worked with, when she first came on board with me, her name is Terry Bias. Hi, Terry. She was doing good business. She was hovering around 100 transactions or more, but she wanted to get more on the listing side of the business. So we developed a game plan for her to do that, and she started averaging anywhere between 5 to 7 more listings a month on average through this game plan. And so I want to share, and what that did for her was, obviously changed her bottom line. She started getting more buyer leads off of the listings, and she started putting herself in a position to get more leverage, and she was able to recruit and attract some more agents because of that leverage. A whole lot of really awesome things happened. And Terry Bias is just one example. Amanda Hardesty is another example where she was working with builders, but outside of that, she wasn't generating a lot of listings. And so we set up a game plan, which I'm about to share with you in these videos, a piece of that game plan. And now she generated an additional $100,000 in GCI. One of my Facebook friends here just says, I definitely have to get more listings. And I totally understand, respect that you are not the only one. So if you're burnt out and you really, really need to focus on getting more listings, just stay tuned. And so this video really is more about mindset. Okay, so this me going live today is more about the mindset of a listing agent, and then I'm going to do a series of videos on actual strategy and tactics. So why is mindset important? Okay, so first of all, if we don't have a strong enough reason, okay, to focus on becoming more of a listing agent, and then with a goal to become the dominant listing agent in our market, then with that reason not strong enough, we're not going to make this transition. We're going to keep going back to our old ways. Does that make sense? We're going to keep going back to the low-hanging fruit, or what we're used to. So I want to give you some compelling reasons on why you should make this move if you haven't already, okay? So an example is you create massive leverage. And I want you to really just take note of that. You might have heard this, but I really want you to think about it. How much is your time worth to you, right? And so what I love about helping agents generate more listings and get more on the listing side is the leverage that it creates in their business. And the reality is that you have two types of currency. You obviously have the money that you work with, and then you have your time. And I would argue that your time is a more valuable currency than even your money, because you can't get your time back. And if you're spending all of your time running around buyers all day long, it's very hard to scale a business. And you kind of end up on this transaction cycle where you've created maybe a good sales system, if you will, but it's very hard to build and scale a business when you're working with too many buyers. So it creates massive leverage. That's reason number two. Number three is that you don't have to purchase as many leads or as many buyer leads once you start really being able to focus on listings, because a lot of buyer leads end up coming off of listings because you're showcasing on this website. You can market single property websites, a whole bunch of different strategies that I'm going to talk to you about in other videos. You can do Facebook ads, getting doing just listed, just sold ad campaigns to market your listings, and so you're building a brand. You're simultaneously to actually generating more buyer leads that are going to come off of these listings. If you use the right multi-channel marketing strategies, which I'm going to share with you and talk to you about. It also gives you more. So that's number two. Number three is it gives you more freedom. Okay, and what I mean by that is, if you look at most listing agents, they have a little bit more of regular working hours. So they can predict their time frames a little easier, and when they're going to do business, because they're not succumb to when the next buyer wants to go run them around to go look at a property. Now, I know things are changing a little bit virtually, but we still are dealing with this reality, right, of needing more leverage. So here's how you get started. Here's where you got to start first and foremost if you want to generate more listings, okay? First, you got to establish the mindset, okay, that you are determined. You are going to burn your bridge. You're going to burn your bridge, and you're going to be determined to develop a game plan to generate more listings, period. And then you're going to burn your bridge, and you're going to say to yourself, why can't I be the dominant listing agent in the market? Why not? Why not me? And so one of the things that I'll share with you is where to start is your mindset. And the next thing I would like to share with you is start thinking about how many listing agents you need to become to hit $1 million GCI. Because basically the clientele that I coach, that's their goals, is how do I hit that $1 million level? How do I hit $1 million GCI? So in a lot of markets, you can, if you're averaging if you can keep active in 10 to 12 listings, if you can ramp yourself up to 10 to 12 listings a month, okay, at an average of $7,000, okay, each per listing that start closing, I want you to think about that math. Now, here's the deal. The ramp up is not easy. It's not easy. There's no doubt about it. But understand that the law of momentum, once you get momentum on your side, okay, then it makes it worth the work. Okay, so I want to give you an analogy. When a rocket ship takes off, okay, it burns 80% of its fuel just getting off the ground. All right, 80% of its fuel or so is burnt just getting off the ground. And so becoming a listing agent and really getting that momentum to get those 10 active listings between your time, money, and energy you're going to burn fuel, right? It's going to it's not going to be easy getting that momentum. But what I also want to share with you is that once you do get that momentum, that rocket, just going back to the rocket ship analogy, that it actually goes all the way to its destination and back on the 20%. And generating a business focused around listings and reaching that key altitude, so to speak, is the same way, is that once you get that leverage and you create your machine, then you don't have to work quite as hard to get there. Okay. So I want to encourage you that if you want to make this decision to say, you know what, I'm going to generate more listings. I'm going to determine a way. I'm going to start doing my research. I'm going to start tuning into Isaiah's videos and listening and finding out how I'm going to generate more listings. Then you make that decision, the answers will start coming to you. And then you are determined over the next 90 days or more that you're going to go on an all-out blitz to focus on getting more listings and do whatever you can to do that. That's the key. Ultimately, it comes down to creating a duplicatable, predictable income stream. Because I don't know about you, I didn't get involved in real estate to just be living transaction to transaction, right? And that's what ends up happening. And just remember this, and I want to leave you with this, and then tomorrow I promise we'll get into actual strategy. Today is more about mindset. Because you got to first think, right? You got to think about what you really want. And then second, you got to believe that you can actually achieve it. You got to build up your belief system to say to yourself, I can do this, and put yourself around people that will support that belief system and help you through that. I want to be a guide and a help through that. Okay. And just so you know, I've actually, my team, between my brokerage and a broker-to-broker referral program, we've set over 60,000 appointments and closed 6,000 transactions on the listing side only through our referral network that I personally got paid a referral check on. I should say the brokerage has. So we know a thing or two about generating listings. And here's what you want to remember. Listings generate buyer leads. That's why Zillow loves marketing your listings. So why aren't we using the same strategies? Okay. How do you become your own Zillow? And that's what we're going to talk about. How do you become your own Zillow? I know that's a big thought, but I'm going to leave you with that. All right. And tomorrow I'm going to be back. I'm going to go live again. Or if you're watching this later on the YouTube video, in the next part 2, I'm going to do probably 10 to 15 different videos on this topic because it's really important. We're going to start talking about putting together a game plan on generating more listings. If you're watching this and you want just to skip right to the chase, I'm actually going live on Thursday at 3 o'clock, and I'm going to be doing a webinar on how to generate 5 to 7 listings consistently a month. And I'm going to go over 3 key strategies on how to do that. That webinar is going to be Thursday at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'll drop the link in below. You can register. We'll spend a good couple hours together, and I'll go over my whole strategy and then show you how to put together, number 1, the game plan, number 2, number 1, the goal, number 2, the game plan, and then also to show you a system I've developed to make sure you execute on that and convert leads into listings. So that's Thursday at 3 o'clock. Click on the link below after this video. Give me a couple minutes and the link will go below there. And I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Otherwise, around 1 o'clock, between 1 and 1:30, I'm going to go live and just kind of chunk this topic down, share this information with you. And I'm passionate and convicted that you can change your life, you can change your income, and you can create more freedom for yourself if you just make a decision to learn the skill of becoming a dominant listing agent. With that, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day.